What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and we've heard the phrase get woke, go broke thrown around so much over the last few years, and it's been proven right once again. Now, that doesn't mean that there can't be some woke content that is successful. It doesn't mean that you'll immediately fail and start losing money overnight. But what it does mean is that if you make that your focus, if you make wokeness and identity politics and virtue signaling your priority, inevitably you will fail. Eventually, people will go away because there's just not an audience for it, at least not one that's sustainable in any way, shape, or form. And the CW has been one of the best examples of that. This is a network that had a lot of things going for it. It had some momentum. It had some very popular TV shows. And in just a few years, because they decided to focus on identity politics and diversity instead of the stories they're trying to tell, they have now completely and utterly failed to the point where we now have this headline. After embracing wokeness and seeing the ratings plummet across nearly all shows, the CW is for sale. And not only is the CW for sale, but the CW was revealed to have not made a profit since 2006. That's how pathetic it is. And the one chance they had to actually make something of this company, they decided to squander it. This is embarrassing. It's about as bad as it gets, to be honest with you. The CW, the television network jointly owned by Viacom, CBS, and Warner Media, is up for sale following the network's embrace of wokeness and nearly all of their shows' ratings and viewership plummeting. And of course, we got The Flash there. We got Batwoman there. Oh my gosh. This is glorious, to be honest with you, because it just goes to prove what we have been saying the entire time. When this is the focus of your company, you are going to fail. It was first reported by Wall Street Journal that both Viacom, CBS, and Warner Media were exploring the option of selling the network. Joe Flint detailed, AT&T's Warner Media and Viacom CBS Inc. are exploring a possible sale of a significant stake of all the CW network, which they jointly own, according to people familiar with the matter. Flint went on to write, among other suitors is Nexstar Media Group Inc., the nation's biggest broadcaster and a large owner of affiliates of the network, said the people close to the talks. Now, one thing that I think is very interesting that I highlighted in this original report from The Hollywood Reporter was this. News of the possible sale arrives as the network, a joint venture between CBS and Warner, has never been profitable since its formation in 2006, when the two companies formed with the merger of UPN and WB Network. Much of the revenue that's generated from the younger skewing network is generated from international and streaming sales for such scripted originals as The Flash and Dynasty. And now that you no longer have those big Netflix streaming deals, now that they're doing their own individual things, whether it's on HBO Max or somewhere else, now there's literally no money. And pile on top of that the fact that these ratings are terribly, disastrously low. Look at this. Look at the ratings for these shows. You can't even break 1 million people on a network that is free to every home in America. And this was the year before. You only had 2 shows that cracked 1 million viewers. Now you don't even have one. It has been year after year a fall off for the CW. And I want to show you why it's so embarrassingly bad for them. Look at this momentum that they did have. This is Arrow season 3, all right? Arrow season 3, you're talking about almost 3 million people on average tuned into Arrow in that season. This is a time where people are liking Arrow. People are excited for things that are coming with the CW. What do you have next season? Next season, 2.5 million. A little bit of a drop off, but still sustained fairly well for something in its 4th season. Then comes The Flash. The Flash had 3.5 million people watching it. Look at this. This is in 2015. And you think, wow, this is a lot of momentum. Maybe they can actually continue to build on this. But what did CW decide to do? Well, I have a story to share with you. CW puts diversity at the center of its new fall marketing campaign. This is in 2018, right? And you remember they had these things that were running across every time you watch it. This ad would run. It didn't matter if you were on CW Network, if you're on the website, whatever. They were pushing this so hard, all about diversity and inclusion and compassion and kindness. That's really what they were talking about. And that was at the center, not only of their advertisement campaign, but of their content. and we continue to see people talk about this. The CW keeps diversifying both in front and behind the camera. Fast forward to 2000, almost a year ago, 2021. CW boss Mark Pedowitz, not a great name, just saying, we need to create a diverse legacy for the next generation. Not working out so well when you can't even keep your company going, is it? CW proud of diversity efforts, but still striving for more authentic voices. So instead of focusing on giving people great entertainment, on great writers, great stories, all these things, they were completely and totally and singularly focused on diversity and representation. That's not me making it up. That's not me being hyperbolic. That's what they told everyone they were focused on. They decided that that's the demographic they wanted to go for. They wanted to do a Charmed reboot, but let's not make them all white. We can't do anything like that. Let's make it diverse. You have a show like Supergirl, which was on CBS for season 1. Wasn't a great show, but wasn't the worst show either. Comes over to the CW under their full control and immediately becomes SJW propaganda the show. That's what it was. Every single episode was about immigration reform. It was about Black Lives Matter. And then eventually they introduced a trans superhero. And that's what the entire episode was about. That's what that show is about. And we saw that slowly take over each and every single bit of programming with the CW. Now, we're at the point where they're looking to sell because they have the lowest ratings they virtually ever have, and they can't make any money. That is what happens. Get woke, go broke. Again, sometimes it's not immediate. Sometimes it takes years and years and years. But inevitably, this is what we see happen. How many times can we sit there and say, I guess we were right? How many times can we see a show like Batwoman and the fact that it continues to get renewed with horrible ratings simply for diversity's sake? How often does this need to happen before everyone acknowledges that, yeah, maybe they're onto something? Maybe instead of focusing on identity politics, maybe we should just tell a good story. Instead of saying that all our critics are just racist, misogynist, homophobes, maybe they've got a point. That it's not the fact that, oh, there's a gay character here. It's not the fact that there's a black lead female character here. No, it's not about that. It's about the fact that no longer are those things just part of a story. Those things are the story, and no one is interested. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below about the woke CW having such terrible ratings that they're just like, you know what, we just gotta sell this. Haven't made money in nearly 20 years. Let me know in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my PO box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.